Hey everyone, Mario here, otherwise known as Y2M on the interwebs, and welcome to another edition of the Reboot Review. And here we are. We made it through the first month. 52 new number ones came out. 52 different series came out. I myself only got 27, because those were the ones that I was really interested in. 28, but I couldn't get a hold of Superboy number 1. I don't know about you, but I think this new 52 thing ended up being a good thing for DC. And this week we started with the first batch of the number 2s for these new series. I picked up 5 this week. Here's what I thought about them. First up is Green Arrow, number 1. Well, if you remember my review of issue 1, I really wasn't all that impressed with it. In fact, I remember saying that it was average and nothing more. And, well, nothing's changed. Issue 2 was pretty much average and nothing more. I mean, look, I know what they're trying to get at. They're trying to knock youth culture a bit. And the bad parts, which I completely understand, because I'm annoyed personally by my 18-year-old cousin and his stupid shenanigans and the crap that he watches. These young punk villains trying to get into reality shows by showing off their bad stuff on YouTube. I mean, the art was okay, I guess. And they're trying too hard to convey the message that reality shows are evil. We get it. I mean, MTV. There you go. You want to see evil reality shows? MTV. Exhibit A. The only exhibit you'll ever need. There was literally so much they could have done with Green Arrow. And instead they went with, hey, let's get together and do some bad guy stuff on YouTube. Yeah. And the only reason why I'm going to stick with it for one more issue is because I want to see how this ends. It's a 3-issue story arc, because that's what the last page made it out to be. But pretty much, I'm pretty much done with Green Arrow, unless the 3rd issue is like ridiculous in a good way. I'm pretty much done with this after the 3rd issue. Next. Now, Red Lanterns, number 2. Okay, I wasn't all that impressed with the first issue of Red Lanterns. I mean, it was one of the better books for new readers, like in terms of introducing characters and what the Red Lanterns is about. But that's all it was. And even for me, who's still inexperienced at DC, it was kind of bland and a little dull. Someone must have heard me, because issue 2 is pretty good. It's a far improvement over the first issue. I mean, it actually deals with some heavy stuff. And we might get to see a new Red Lantern in the making in this issue. It's a standalone story. I mean, sure, there are mentions of Atrocitus' mission statement peppered throughout the issue, but that's not what it's about. It really focuses on the character that you partially see in this cover, and it's actually a really good story. I was really impressed, and I was like, you know what? I'm getting issue 3. The story by Peter Milligan was actually pretty good, and the art is, well, what you'd expect from a Red Lanterns comic. And that's all I have to say. It is better than issue 1. In fact, I don't even think you need to get issue 1 unless you're new to Red Lanterns. And that's all about I can say. It's an improvement. Alright, let's jump ahead to Justice League International number 2. Alright, here's another issue 1 that I put on notice. I wasn't really all that impressed with JLI. Sure, they managed to introduce the characters and send them on their way faster than the original Justice League comic, but it was just missing a lot of things. It sacrificed character development, interaction, in the name of rushing things. But to me, I didn't like that very much, because it felt like they were going in 20 different directions at once and going nowhere at the same time. They corrected themselves in issue 2. Another vast improvement over the first issue. I gotta tell you, I'm impressed. Booster Gold, I can believe, is a leader. He stepped up a little bit, and he actually had a lot of backing from people I didn't think would back him up, which is interesting. The development and the interaction happened in this issue. I was totally impressed and blown away. And the villains that popped up, well, I don't even know if they're villains so much as automations that probably will belong to a villain or two. Damn, this is going to be an interesting threat that JLI has to deal with. And considering we're not sure what they're capable of just yet, can't wait to see what issue 3 holds. Yeah, I'm getting an issue 3. This one was put on notice along with Red Lantern. They stepped up their game, and, well, I'm convinced. I'm getting issue 3, and I can't wait to see how this plays out. Alright, now we go along to Detective Comics number 2. Well, as you know, in the first issue, I was blown away. I was a little skeptical about how an artist can also do writing, Tony Daniel. And he does slip up a couple of occasions, but for the most part the story is solid, the artwork is great, and the last page cliffhanger was like, oh man, to me. And I had to get issue 2. So I picked up issue 2, and we get to find out who the doll maker is, and let me give you a hint as to what he and his family is about, or at least what I think. Now, I'm not sure that they're hillbilly family, but, well, I've seen a lot of movies, you know, Texas Chainsaw Massacre and The Hills Have Eyes. And this really doesn't help the stereotype at all. But it's kind of creepy, kind of disturbing what they're about. And it's perfect for Detective Comics, I think. I love the interaction between Batman and Commissioner Gordon. They really are a dynamic duo in this one. Oh, really, I understand their friendship, their partnership. It's like they're Gotham's BFFs. I wish I could take that back. That was a horrible comparison. But otherwise, this was a pretty solid book, except for the last page. Now, it seemed like Tony Daniel's trying to bring a heavy dose of shock on the last page. It seems like that's his MO for Detective Comics. In the first one, it worked well because I really did not see that one coming. Here, on the other hand, I know he was trying to go for another big shock, but to me, I was really annoyed, actually. I was like, really? Really, Tony Daniel? That's how you're going to end it? Really? Just see it for yourself. Didn't really do it for me. But don't let the last page dissuade you from the rest of the comic. It is really rock solid, and I can't wait to see what issue 3 brings to the table. I'm hanging with this one for a while, so there you go. And finally, this one I was eagerly anticipating, Action Comics number 2. I love the cover. I love it over the variant. I just did see the variant. Wasn't all that impressed. I actually love the original cover. He looks angry and badass, and you know what? That's exactly what the comic's about. You probably have already, at least I'm hoping, you've already read issue 1, and you know how that one ended. Here we pretty much pick up where issue 1 left off, and I gotta tell you, it is so great. Everything played out great. You know, Lois is concerned for Soup. We get to see more of Lex Luthor's contempt for Superman. I mean, it really comes out in spades in this one. So, you know that Luthor's eventual villainy well, we know where the origin is, right here. We don't know exactly why yet, but we know that it's brewing at this point in time. Also, we get to see a kind of an updated take about Superman's cape and another, I guess, accessory, for lack of a better term. It is rather interesting, and to tell you the truth, I love the artwork. I mean, I noticed that there was a little tag team of the artwork between Rags Morales and Brent Anderson. I did notice when they changed, but it's not that bad. Grant Morrison is just smoking aces, dude. He's just busting out like great writing throughout. Hey, and I gotta tell you, once I took a look at that last page, I was hooked. Or I was hooked since issue 1. I just can't wait till issue 3. That page just brings more questions and answers, and I'm already theorizing as to what it could mean, but of course, I won't know until issue 3. But I'm so impatient. I didn't think I would enjoy Superman so much, or at least the Superman in Action Comics, but here I am, ragging about it, praising it, loving it. It is a little bit less than the first issue, but it is still hitting homers, man. Pick this one up. And you know what? If you haven't picked up issue 1, do so right now. What are you waiting for? Alright, well that about does it for now. It's getting kind of late. I decided to do this a little late. I'll be back next week with a few more issues to review. As always, if you have anything you want to add or comment, please feel free to post below or leave a video response. I do try to answer whenever I can, so just keep them coming. Alright guys, I'm going to get back to reading my comics and playing a video game or two. I'll see you around. Y2M out.